Hey, what's going on, Divide here. So the new exotic glaive Vexcalibur is out now, and I have to say it's pretty good in PvE when you pair it with the right build, because you can get infinite overshields, grenades and devour for max health on every single kill, and deal up to nearly 100,000 damage per hit. That doesn't require any ammo, just a simple melee swing, which is kinda busted. So this is just more of a shorter build today. I will cover this later in the week at some point with a full void build, but for this quick titan build, you're going to be able to not only have crazy DPS like last season with the glaives, but you're also going to have good survivability too, which makes this worth using in harder content where you have tough minor adds and yellow bars. So we're using the Vexcalibur, which is going to give us an overshield when we block damage with it. You can get it in a new exotic mission, by the way. It's on the EDZ. But the best part about this is that it has a perk where killing adds with an overshield will restore the overshield to full and give us extra damage, which is a 20% buff. So after every single kill, you can pretty much always have an overshield, and on top of this, using Synthoceps will boost our damage even more, which is another 200% increase. But on top of this, we'll have a bubble for DPS, which is another 20%. And because of that, we'll have an overshield, right? So that will activate our glaive perk. So as long as you have adds near you, you'll be pulling off insane damage to bosses and champions, which is probably one of the best DPS sources in the game generally, because it doesn't even require ammo. The only issue you're going to have is surviving during a boss fight, where you have no way to generate health, so a bubble or well is really ideal. And when you're comparing DPS from something like a linear, which is not only slower but also using heavy ammo, and then you're comparing it to the glaive that doesn't even need ammo and hits faster, you can really see the difference. Now we're using Echo of Starvation so that picking up an orb will give us devour. This will give us max health on kills, and then as we're using the glaive, we'll get max overshields too. Now if you're fighting bosses and stuff, you could use a barricade with Bastion. This will give you that initial overshield so that you can have that increased DPS. But I'd use this build more for ad clearing on tough ads rather than bosses, if I'm being honest, because in endgame content, bosses will just insta-kill you in most cases, unless you have a source of healing constantly. But for that devour, we'll generate an orb with the glaive using a void cipher mod, since it is a void weapon. I did try using volatile rounds and a void surge mod, but this just didn't count for the melee attack, so I just went with the emergency reinforcement for some extra damage resistance instead. You can use the heavy exotic glaive, but honestly, for one, it's kind of broken at the moment and disabled in some activities, so it's most likely going to get nerfed, and two, the special glaive doesn't take up your heavy slot, and you get instant max health and overshields on every single kill. Honestly guys, give this build a try. I'll have a full build out soon for this, but for now, the dim link is below.